I want to start with a moment from Bob, and it will segue into Alec Baldwin and Max Boot. How am I going to do that? Listen up. Let's have some Bob music. I know it's playing. I just can't hear it. There it is. And now another Moment with Bob, brought to you by your friends at Offshore Drilling. Shall we begin? Hey, Mike. The last time I sent you a so-called moment was 4 months ago. Since then, I've started at least a dozen of them. Some collapsed in the design stage. Or I'd get about a third of the way into one and remember I had written pretty much the same thing in 2007. When I was a kid, summer reruns drained the fun out of watching television. Reheated leftovers made dismal dinners, and a rehashed Moment with Bob doesn't do anything except kill time. I couldn't write about the donor class, the Republicans, the shit-heeled Democratic collaborators, and the loathsome antics of Fucko the Clown without lapsing into writing a daily list of outrages. As Truman Capote said, that's not writing, that's typing. I found a different tactic for a couple of moments by using a Rod Serling parable approach. But when I tried it a couple of days ago, the analogies, similes, and metaphors blew up in my face. The facts are too grim to make up a story to fit them. I'm a self-taught monstrumologist. I've seen almost every horror movie or monster movie ever made. I watched the flickering silence to widescreen 70 millimeter, and I have realized over the last 2 years that no monsters, ghouls, or shapeless things from other dimensions are as horrifying as the psychopaths running the government of the United States. I could, if I had the time and the will, type out hundreds of words buttressing my argument by listing the outrages and naming the names of the specific psychopaths who perpetrated them. But we already know who they are. They are the Republicans and the so-called donor class who bought them. And then there are the minions. There are, at a minimum, 62,984,828 of them in the United States. That's how many people voted for Fucko the Clown in 2016. A huge percentage of Fucko supporters are evangelical Christians. According to a Pew survey in 2004, evangelicals make up 26.3% of the U.S. population. In a Raw Story commentary published earlier this month by Bobby Azarian, a neuroscientist, explains why evangelicals are wired to believe Trump's lies. That was the title of it. He clearly spelled out how these ardent followers of Christ have their minds so gummed up with God, I'm amazed they can even make a sandwich. The playing field isn't level, but at least we know who we're up against. Billionaires and their dependents. And at this late date, we have but one weapon at our disposal. This seems cartoonishly simplistic, but from my vantage point here in Canada, the last chance to keep the United States from sinking further and irrevocably into the fascistic hellscape of oligarchical rule is for every single sane person to vote a straight Democratic ticket in November. It's either that or become inured to an Orwellian future of a boot stamping on a human face forever. That's it. No carefully crafted cautionary tale about these strange and terrible times. We all just have to vote. Regards, Bob. Another Moment with Bob, brought to you by your friends at Offshore Drilling. By the way, You can read Bob's commentaries at his website, voicesinourheads.com. Two plurals there, voicesinourheads.com.